And I tell people all the time, why do people do 1031 exchanges? That's the big number one question there. Why do they even do it? And number one answer I hear is to avoid capital gains tax. And I tell them, I go, no, that's not why they do it. If you want to avoid the taxes, don't sell the property. People do a 1031 exchange to get something that's better for them in their lives right then and there. Whether it's better cash flow, whether it's leaving where they're at, whether it's a different property type, whether it's a dream home or a vacation home, all the reasons are so different. And sometimes it's just because they hate owning with their siblings or their other partners and they just can't handle it anymore. There's just so many different things that happen out there. And it's funny when you talk to sellers that maybe three sellers own the same property and they all want to do something different.
Yeah, no, it's true. One of the things that we love about single family is, let's say you had a $2 million house and we go out. Right now we're buying between 220 and 275, right? So those numbers are insane to California because you can't even buy a lot. Might be able to buy a lot. But like we're buying very actively between kind of 220 to 275 in Oklahoma City, Bentonville, Arkansas, Memphis, Tennessee, Northern Charlotte, Ocala, Florida, right? So we're buying in five, six markets. We were buying in Orlando, but everything priced out. The GRM stopped working. We were buying a lot more in Memphis, but again, we priced out. The GRM stopped working. And so we're always looking for markets. Hey, where does the cash on cash work? Because we're really playing the cash on cash game. The appreciation is the cherry on top in our book, right? And so we look at all that. One of the things we like the most is, hey, you take this $2 million property, you chop it up into eight, right? You go get four properties in Charlotte, you get four properties in Oklahoma City. So you're now diversified as far as rental markets. It's not, hey, if Charlotte has a bad jobs report or whatever, you're not going to lose tenants all over. So we're able to diversify their risk position. Beyond that, if as they move forward, if their plan was ever, hey, I want to liquidate these as I move into assisted living, I want to liquidate some of this asset, it's hey, you don't have to just keep going and borrowing against it. You can sell one of those eight homes, right? And you can break your taxable events up into different years instead of having it all in one big year. You can break your taxable up. If your number one goal was, hey, I don't want to get windfall tax for $1.9 million. If you break it up into multiple pieces, you can break up your tax situation a little bit and manage that during your life. Because a lot of these people, they don't really have enough money for long-term and chronic care when it comes to that, right? They're going to have to tap this asset at some point. And for most of those people, it's through debt, right? And so by breaking it up into actual different assets, it can go to different heirs. You can put a different, hey, you're on these Oklahoma properties, you're on these Indianapolis properties. We've really found that like single family residential is a bit flexible in those regards. And so it's just everything. Everything's got its benefits, its pros and cons.
Jeremy,
My,
I think that's a great point because okay, so when we talk about the DST, and I talk to people about this all the time, and when they're in their 70s and 80s, and I explain to them, I go, look, this asset is awesome, but if you're looking to dictate when you sell it because you need to, it's not for you. If you're looking to refinance and take money out, you can't do that. If you're in a position where this is where all your money is, and I think that's an excellent point that you bring up, long-term care depending upon how bad you are, could be anywhere from 6,000 to 20,000 a month. You will go through everything very quickly, and you may not have the means. And in an asset like a syndication, you can't get that money out. And like you mentioned, if you have it in a diversified portfolio and it came from an exchange, instead of paying taxes on the lump sum, if you do it incrementally, then you will not hit the higher tax brackets. And so it could prove advantageous. So there's, again, and I tell everyone this from the start, from that, even before you list the property for sale. Okay, where are you in your life? What are you looking for? What do you want? These are things that make sense for you for the following reasons, but also keep in mind this can happen in your life. And long-term care is no joke.
it is no joke. Like we did a 1031 exchange, I'm going to say in 2018, 19. She sold a $2.1 million property. We helped her buy 12. So we bought four or five properties in Indianapolis, four or five properties in Charlotte, two properties in Florida, something like that. That was like the mix, right? Number one, like on a 1031 exchange, we got 45 days to identify. So unless you're working with a team, there's no way you can, like what I call it is a 1031 down exchange, right? We're going from one asset into multiples, right? And You can't 1031 a $2 million California single family residential in Palo Alto into a property in Asheville, North Carolina, unless you're buying a McMansion. I don't want a McMansion. I want a rental asset. I want the maximum number of renters and the maximum number of first-time home buyers to coincide so that my exit strategy isn't just I got to sell to some fund that only buys rentals. I want the maximum number of first-time home buyers when I'm coming out. And there's no way to do that in Northern California because the price tag's too big, right? You've got to go buy multiple properties in a market where the price points are just lower. Now, I like that because it diversifies the risks and it lets us have an exit strategy on the other end where we can sell those off. Well, this client, we bought 12, right? And over time, she has drawn down that portfolio. I think she's at 5 now. So over the next 7, 8 years, she sells off like one property a year. She pops 200 grand into her account. She doesn't screw up her Medicaid horribly. She doesn't screw up her Social Security horribly. She doesn't blow her taxable income to hell to all of a sudden, like she sells one property a year and she's slowly drawing down on these assets, which she was going to have to do anyways, but she was going to have to do it with loans. And loan qualifications, when you have one asset that's not producing good cash flow, it's virtually impossible. She was in a real spot. Like she was in a
And
real
her interest rate's not attractive right now either. There's so many points to this. There's so many different tangents. And again, that's why I'm not their financial planner, but I don't like somebody coming to me, okay, we're in contract. I was told to call you. We want to do a 1031 exchange. What's that? And I'm like, oh no. Okay, I'm going to ask you a series of questions. And now you and your real estate team need to figure it out quickly.